This is a very exciting project that we are now working on. It's a 200-year-old Shiva temple on a rocky mountain in the middle of the desert in Nokha. Here there's an existing temple which sits on the topmost part of the hill, and we started looking at cues from traditional architecture as to how one can expand and create common facilities and make this into a community center for the people of Nokha. Nokha is essentially an area of 144 villages. So we took two direct inferences. The first one was from the stepwells which exist in Rajasthan, where we looked at this as the reverse of a stepwell. So whereas a stepwell goes down into the earth with a water body in the center, here we looked at it because you were climbing on top of the hill, and then from that hill, because we didn't want to disturb the views of the temple from any direction, we're actually stepping down into lower platforms along the hill contours, and each one of these would house a community space which can be used. The other interesting aspect is looking at traditional old cities in Rajasthan and the way they were built over a period of time. So nothing is very geometric, it is always organic in nature. So rather than just creating a traditional stepwell which geometrically steps down, because here the contours are different on all sides of the temple. So we organically created these steps at different platforms. So on east side or the west side or the north side or the south side, each one is completely different. So finally when it is done, you will have to experience each side on its own separately. So we started by creating a space around the temple which could act as the main circulation spine, which expands in areas and is limited in some areas. And then with steps, you step down into lower platforms in each direction. So exactly the same way the stepping was done in stepwells, you have levels where you step down, then you have a platform, then you further step down and you come to the lower level. And below this will be housed community facilities, including spaces for congregation, spaces to study, and spaces to meditate or do any other activities. So after the initial sketches, the working of the SketchUp views, which show the whole series of spaces that we are creating around the existing temple, the way they are envisaged. So just like a step well, it keeps stepping down in the reverse manner on top of a hill to lower levels, and it is organic at the same time, creating different kind of identities to each portion. And also as a reference, we've taken the closest city, Jodhpur. The old city of Jodhpur is completely done in lime plaster and blue in various hues, and that's what's implemented here. So we want to do all these walls in lime plaster in shades of blue, interspersed with sandstone walls, sandstone from the region itself. So the entire temple will look like this, and then it's got these intimate spaces as well as large spaces, so people want to meet in smaller groups or in larger groups. There are spaces for every kind of activity possible around the temple and within it. So you've got these very interesting smaller spaces created, and then the overall larger platforms as the temple steps down across the existing contours of the hill. This temple has existed on this hill since 200 years as just a temple space. With all these additions, this temple will now be transformed into not just a temple, but a space which fosters social interaction, becoming a true community center, bringing people together from 144 villages in the Nokha region.